Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of The Talk. I'm Kat Horiadis, and I'm joined by Bonner Scholar Emma Young. Hi, Emma. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a good day and everything like that.
All right, well, that's good. All right. So I know you're part of the Bonner program. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, definitely. So the Bonner program is a scholarship program here at TCNJ and also nationally, but the Bonner Scholars do 300 hours of service every year. And then also there's a scholarship involved with it as well, but a lot of it is just trying to really involve the community in involve the community and kind of getting people out there and doing service.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What does being a Bonner Scholar mean to you?
I think it means like different things to every person, but I feel like to me it allows me to like bring meaning to what I'm doing during my college years. I think it's easy to kind of be like very consumed with your own things going on during this time, but like doing Bonner allows me to kind of see the world and be involved with it. So
right,
yeah.
That's awesome. And how did you get involved with the program?
So when I applied to TCNJ, my application was like flagged, and then the Bonner program actually sent me an email like offering me to telling me to apply and different things like that. And so I went through the application process and the interviews, and so I've been a Bonner Scholar since my freshman year. So,
that's really cool. So what are the different things that you do in the Bonner program?
Well, there's lots of different sites within the Bonner program. So there's 4 main divisions. There's the Environment Division, the Juvenile Justice Division, the Health and Human Services Division, and then also the Education Division. And so I'm on the Education Division. So what I personally do is I work in an after-school program in Trenton, and then I do a lot of work with the CEL program and helping freshmen complete their 8 hours of service.
That's great. And can you tell us a little bit about the Academic Sports Academy Foundation, which I'm assuming is the after-school program that you do in Trenton?
Yeah, so we call it ASA for short, but essentially it was founded by Greg Grant, who actually went to TCNJ. He played basketball here, but he grew up in Trenton, and he decided to give back to his community, and he founded it, I believe, like 12 years ago. And so the program is from K through 8, and it runs Monday through Friday. Every single day the kids have school. And essentially it's based on like a mentorship model. So the idea is to show students in Trenton who may not have access to like college-age people and people going through that process. And it's to show them like these are people who show up consistently and want to help you out and show them that college is possible and that we care about you guys.
So like role models.
Yeah, role models.
People to look up to.
Yeah, definitely.
And how did you get involved with them?
With them, well, when I applied for Bonner, we put like our selection down for the different sites that we wanted. And I knew that I wanted to do something in like the education realm because I really enjoy working with kids. And so they placed me on the ASA site my freshman year. And so I've been there for 3 years, and it's been a really fun and interesting time.
3 years is a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And so for the education thing, is ASA the only option for education, or are there multiple like programs that are like under the education umbrella of Bonner?
Yeah, so we also have like a high school team which does a lot of like college readiness, so like SAT prep and like going through applications and that whole process. So that's one division. We also have another after-school program in Trenton that a lot of Bonners work at as well, called the Learning Lab, which is related to Habitat for Humanity.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I like that. So you're the site leader for the Academic Sports Academy, and what does that position of site leader entail?
Yeah, so the site leader is kind of like almost like a liaison between the students and the Bonner staff, and then also the community partner that we have, so ASA. So a lot of what I do is like making sure that people are there when they're supposed to be there, so making sure we have people in all of the classrooms, making sure people feel supported where they are. So if there is something going on that they feel like uncomfortable or overwhelmed with, like my job is to kind of help them or like get them resources to help them out. And yeah, a lot of like scheduling, overseeing other people, and making sure that everyone's kind of doing their part.
So you're essentially holding people accountable.
Yeah.
And making sure the program is running
Yeah.
as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility, but that sounds fun if especially since you've been involved for so long.
Yeah.
And so what does this position mean to you? Like, is this like the highest position that you could receive, or are you like working your way up to something else?
I mean, I guess it is considered like the highest position within like direct service. Bonner has a lot of, like, most of the time senior Bonners will do like internships in the office and things like that. But as far as direct, like, one-on-one service, the site leader position is that kind of thing. And I feel like I really like the position because it allows me to have a leadership role, but also still be connected with like the students that I've worked with for the past 3 years. So it's like that connection is still there with like why I started doing service. So yeah.
That's good. And so you also teach second graders. Is this part of the Academic Sports Academy, or is it a separate program that you're involved with?
Yeah, so it's part of the after school program, ASA, and essentially every Bonner is assigned like a different classroom. So the classroom that I take is the second grade. So I take the second grade students every day when I go, and we do like read aloud, homework help, and some kind of enrichment activity. So.
How long does the class usually last for? So it's like, it's an after school program. Is it till like 5? I guess if they get out at like 3.
Yeah, so we get to the program around 4. And then we stay in classrooms until around 5:30. So I guess that would be like the class time, like an hour and a half. And then from like 5:30 to 6, we do like just gym time. So like kids are playing basketball. I usually am playing cards with some people or something along those lines. I'm not the most athletic person.
You're like off to the side.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna play cards. This is just what I'm gonna do. And what do you hope the students you work with can gain from the experience?
I really value the idea that I'm a consistent adult in their life, and I think that showing them that there are people who are going to show up for them and who have gone to college and who have like ideas and aspirations and things like that, and just kind of that role model aspect of it. Because, you can teach and things like that after school, but a lot of it I think is more about that relationship building and like trust building. So yeah.
And how well have you gotten to know the children you work with? Would you say that you're like incredibly close with them?
I think it depends on the student. There are some kids that I'm a lot closer to than others. I haven't worked with the second grade class yet before this fall, so I'm still kind of trying to get to know them. But I still see students that I worked with like my freshman year and my sophomore year. So I think there are certain ones of those who will be like, Miss Emma, like I want to talk to you right now. Like, Miss Emma, this is happening. Or they'll come and cry and explain something going on in their life, and I'm like, oh gosh, let's talk about this. But
and that's great that you have made bonds with people that you like had taught before and helped out with before, and that has like continued.
Yeah.
And I've heard that the Bonner program is very like rigorous. So how are you able to keep a balance between the Bonner program and like your other activities? Because I know that you're also heavily involved in other things in school. So how do you usually like figure that out?
I think I really like scheduling myself and just like planning everything out to like 15-minute intervals. But I also really value, this is gonna be weird, but I really value sleep. And I feel like some people will say that, but then they don't actually sleep that much. But like I get my like 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, and it's like something I put a lot of value into over, so maybe I don't watch Netflix as much as other people, I guess, but it's just about like prioritizing things. I think that the things that I choose to do with my time are things that I really care about. And if you care about something, you're going to make enough time for it,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do claim that they try to get sleep and that they love sleep, but like they don't. And then some people just like never do sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting 7 to 8 hours, that's like the peak of health.
Yeah.
I would consider.
Yeah, it just like makes me feel better.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
so I think it makes it a lot easier to handle stress or whatever's going on.
Yeah, it definitely helps you function.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I also know that you're a psychology major. Is that something that you want to do? Like, are you like connecting that with what you do with the Bonner program, or or you just don't really want to work in education like when you graduate?
Well, I came into TCNJ as an education major. I was an urban education major, and I was really I was like, I'm gonna be a teacher, this is gonna be great, I have my whole life planned out. But then college comes and things change, of course.
You're like, this is not what I signed up for.
But I think my work at the after school program showed me that I care more about like the holistic view of the child and like what's going on with their life at home, like what's going on with them like mentally and different things like that, rather than the straight academics. So Bonner's really showed me like what I'm more passionate about and what I care more about. I love working with kids, so I would definitely want to continue working with kids in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know. We'll see what happens when I graduate. So, yeah.
That's great. And are there other aspects of Bonner that you want to be involved with? Like, would you ever do they ever like overlap? Do you ever like work with the environment group, or are you just like strictly education?
I mean, most of the time you're not strictly, I mean, sometimes I'll do like a random C all day with the environment team, but I stick mostly with the education team just because in addition to like knowing the students, I also know the other Bonner scholars there, so it's kind of like a little like community within the Bonner community scholars.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And what has your overall experience with the Bonner program been like?
I think it's allowed me to like grow into more of a leader. We always joke that like they give you so many things to do that you just have to like figure out somehow to do it, and like it's like you gotta sink or swim, but most of us swim. It just like has allowed me to gain so many opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise, and I'm really thankful for that because I don't know like where I would be or what I'd be doing in college if it weren't for Bonner. So yeah.
And what advice would you give to others who may want to be involved with the Bonner program?
I think that there are definitely like differing levels of joining, like being with the Bonner program. Of course, we have like the Bonner Volunteers program. We call them B-Balls, and they come to our sites just like we do, and they do a lot of really great quality work. And then, of course, you can always apply to become a Bonner Scholar and, you know, join us for the 300 hours and all of that fun stuff. And I think that if you're considering doing that, I would definitely recommend volunteering with one of the sites and sticking to one consistent site, because that's what we do as Bonners, and it really shows to us that you're committed to it if you can show up multiple times, like, you know, once a week during the semester, something like that is what we really look for.
Do you find it like it's a difficult program to apply to?
Yeah, it's a pretty competitive program to apply to, especially after your freshman year. Like we take mostly, we interview seniors in the spring from high school, and then we accept like a class of like 20 to 25 students, and then we usually take some Bonners, some Bonners who are like sophomores or juniors and things like that. But it's, I don't want to say like harder, but I guess more challenging, just because you have to come in later.
For the incoming freshmen. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. That does it for another episode of The Talk. This is Emma Young. I'm Kat Boreatis, and we'll see you soon.